Right. So just to see, for example, the Greek text is so tiny. It's just insane. And we've come, which line are we at? Line 9. Or we're going to, so we're line 8 basically. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Have we seen this? I think we're going to see this today. Yeah, so this is what we've read basically of the Greek part. I'm not trying to be like discouraging people, but I just realized that maybe I am. But anyway, I wanted to find the psephisma, the place where the actual decree sort of begins, but I'm not going to find it. This is like a needle in the haystack type situation. Okay. And then for the demotic, we have come to demotic 6. So we have so many stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, and we can see a little. Is this yeah, this is probably Arsinoe or something like this. In the little, there's a name here. But yeah, so that's where we are in the demotics, and so there's a bit left, and then in the hieroglyphic, we still haven't even gotten to the actual part that is on the Rosetta Stone. So we're still using what is the name of the German scholar? Is it Kurt? This transcription anyway. This
Zeta, right? Kurt Zeta.
Ah, Zeta, yeah. Kurt is the modern day. Okay, yeah, Zeta, I think, and his transcription from a different stele entirely. Okay, that was just to sort of see where we were at. Right. And last time we had looked at this first part where we had the subjects of all the various priests that are meeting at Memphis, and they're meeting for this specific occasion where the king sort of takes over the kingship, which is what we are at right now, actually. So we finished the demotic, and then we are going on to the hieroglyphic part now. And yeah, and thanks, Aurelio, for I just checked out this part that we have in the Thesaurus Lingua Aegypti, where this is a bit of a different stele, right?
This is, yeah, there are 2 decrees or 2 partial copies of the decree in Philae, partially overwritten, unfortunately, by some other texts. But you can use that to piece together what must have been in the upper section of the Rosetta stele, because they're all pretty close. And yeah, what's helpful here, of course, is those specific expressions. I think you mentioned the ma and tit that you have there in the upper left corner that just don't seem to make any sense otherwise. You can use this for help. We all need a bit of help sometimes, right? So this is ideal for that.
This is very nice. And so yes, you have linked it up in the document as well if people want to use it for any help. Okay, so does anybody want to read the next hieroglyphic line?
So is Nebra?
Let me just see. I'm gonna get started. I just tried to zoom in a bit. Up. So there is. What did you say first?
That's an N, isn't it?
M.
Oh, M. Yeah, Neb. Re.
This is not neb because you have the little. This is supposed to be like a lozenge or something like this. What's it called? So it's a festival glyph.
Okay.
So it's very similar to the one. It's hub. I think it's like this hub.
Hub and Chesep?
Is it hub? Yeah, I'm not remembering. Is it something more than just hub? No, it's just hub. Okay. And then N, and you said N, and then you said Chesep. Okay. Perfect.
The next one I'm not used to is it Resut? Sut?
Yeah, right. So you have the Nesu, basically the kingship thing. The king with an extra double reed leaf. So I've understood it as, and I think the TLA has it as Nesu Eat or something like this, which means a kingship more than just the king.
It should have a T, but
Yeah.
it's silent by this point, so long silent.
Should I put it in parentheses, do you think? Or
Maybe.
is it
Yeah, I would say
yeah.
so, because it's not written.
Okay. Nice.
Next part I'm a bit confused, but is it it or is it Tef?
Yeah,
The
right. This
father
is
or
no, you're right. This is Eat. So this is Eat, but you have another F that comes afterwards.
So it F, okay.
Eat F, yeah.
Or his father.
Exactly. And then what did you have in between?
MA. I forget what that means.
And
is in this in hand or
I've also found it as MD if you take the hand as the actual verb for giving, or that looked like it, and it becomes a preposition that is through or from or something like this. I don't know if anybody else had the MA or went for MD.
I can comment a little bit.
Yeah.
To my understanding, there is a slight difference. MR is from, like from the hand, similar to what we do in Coptic, in Tore or in Tot. And MD becomes ente in Coptic, with, or in Coptic becomes of, becomes a genitive particle, basically. So that makes me think that the two things are two different things. But confusingly, they're written almost the same, because the D give glyph very often gets substituted in hieratic by just an ein, an arm glyph. So it's a bit confusing that you have those two things that mean similar things and look the same. In this case, I would go for MR because it's like from the
Let's
hand
go for
off, so to say. M can also mean
Okay.
from. That's the meaning that everybody likes to forget, myself included. But it is in, it is from, and it is with. With as in the instrumental, like with a pen or something.
Okay, thanks.
So next part is in hem, but that doesn't make much sense to me.
I had a bit trouble with this, but in hem, from, we can try it. Let's see if we write in hem.
And then nesurbiti, or do we translate that determinative as a god, or?
Yeah, right. Or is that the hem? I'm not sure here either.
Okay. Next word is Nebtawi.
Nebtawi.
Ptolemy.
Then we have, yes, nice. Where is it? It stops here. So the tool mus like this.
Yes, and Ankh Jet Peta. So
jet. Oh, I shouldn't have written all those things under the line. That was not very...
or is it Merpeta? Not sure.
Merpta, right? So exactly. Mer.
So living eternally below of Peta.
Mm-hmm.
So Neter Peri.
Yeah. Okay, what was that? I don't know. It looks like an H. Netcher Per or Peri.
And Neb Neferu.
Neb Nefer. Great.
So during the festival of receiving the kingship from his father, the priest, king of Upper and Lower Egypt.
I think it's Hem as in majesty. Isn't that also the...
oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes more sense. By His Majesty, the King of Upper and Lower Egypt, Lord of the Two Lands, Ptolemy's, yeah, living eternally beloved of Ptah, the procession of the gods. Is that? I'm always
No, it's
confused by
the
Perry.
yeah, it's the coming forth or going forth. So the god who goes forth.
It's a participle. The god who goes forth, and think of the Greek name of the gentleman. It's Epiphanes, the one that appears. So it's just the Egyptian equivalent.
Okay. So the god who goes forward, Lord of Beauty or goodness?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. This was Efcharistos, right, Aurelio?
I think so, yeah.
Mm.
So it's really just the Greek names. And the interesting thing, it's translated differently in the Demotic. It's Netsheperi there as well. But then if you look at how it's not Neb Neferu, but it is Enti na an taif met nefret.
Yeah.
Like, so way more complicated than the very concise Neo-Middle Egyptian version, which just says Lord of Beauty.
Mm. And then we had the what we had as Ma Yotef comes here at the end. So syntactically, there's also a lot of rearrangement
True.
that goes on. I don't know enough about any of these languages to know how demotic needs to have that at the end or how that works. Yeah.
And I think there was a question about the in. Although Jonathan, you had it right. The in refers back to the Shesep. So the festival of the receiving of the kingship from the hand of his father by, and now comes the new king, by the majesty of the new king of blah, 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 blah. I added the new. It's obviously not there. But yeah. So the in is referring back to the infinitive after the n, the shesep. It's the only way how you can get a subject in there.
Okay. Did you say that this is sort of the passive subject or the shezeb, the subject of shezeb, basically, the one who receives?
Correct. Because he's the
Okay.
one who receives it, and shezeb is an infinitive. So if you want to
Hmm.
add who's the doer in an infinitive construction, then you use in. So the
Okay.
receiving by, so and so. And just what's confusing is all the other stuff is glued in between or inserted in the middle of the expression.
All right. Nice. Okay. Greek. Who wants to read?
Well, it starts with Pero, but that's all I got.
You got Pero. That's nice. Yes. So we have a Pro, and do you know the fourth letter?
S.
S, right? Pros.
Got nothing.
No, I'm not going to have you read more than you want. But anyway, pros means towards. So that and not it doesn't mean king. Yeah.
Although it looks like it. Next one is an article, 10, feminine accusative
Nice.
singular. Ten panegyrin. And I would assume that refers to festival, although I'm not sure how. What does panegyrin actually mean?
It means the coming together in a way.
Oh.
It has agurin is the same root as agora, so it's everything. So it's an assembly, basically.
Okay. So it's not festival, it's assembly. That makes more sense then. Okay.
Let me just quickly not say any bêtises. Panegyris. In general, a festive assembly, a festival assembly in honor of national god, something like that.
Got it. The only word that comes to mind is panegyric, like the speech. So that comes from this somehow. Here we go. A panegyric, I hope I pronounced that right, is a formal public speech or written verse delivered in high praise of a person or thing. Okay, so there you go.
Nice.
What comes after? Tes paralepseos, paralepseos, paralepseos. I'm checking my notes here. Mhm. What is paralepseos? Is
That is the shezep. It's the verb is paralambano, so to take from.
okay. So the taking on. Okay. Another tes.
Yes.
Basileias. So the kingship.
Basileias.
Mhm. Another tes.
Another tes.
Another
Yeah,
tes.
right. It's important with the articles in Greek, right?
Right. Ptolemaiou.
Ptolemaiou.
And not any Ptolemaiou, but Ptolemaiou Ionobiou. So of the eternally living Ptolemaios. Okay. Not sure what that is. Pemenu. Wait. It's some kind of participle that has menu at the end. So it's a passive or medio-passive participle. Pemenu. That is. Does it have to do with agape, with love?
Yep.
Okay. So the one being beloved or something of that nature.
Yeah, exactly.
So there should be a ptach somewhere around. Let's go into the next
Yeah,
one.
it'll come. The verb right is agapao. So,
Got it.
So what did we say? Agapamenu.
Agapemenu, not re, but agapemenu. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. Menu.
Mhm. Hupo. There's our pta. Hupo tu pta. Interesting. So the pta also gets an article. Beloved, I mean, hupo, I would translate as off here, although that's not really the meaning of the preposition. But let's go by beloved by ptach. Teu, epipanus. So that is of the appearing God, just like we had in Egyptian. Eucharistou, that was our Nebneferu. Hen, that's some kind of pronoun. Um, Hen parelaben. Hen parelaben. Let me see how it goes on before I say anything about it. Oh, I think we're done with the titles. Gen
Hmm.
parelaben para tu patros autu. Para tu patros autu would be from his father. So patros being a genitive and the autu just meaning in this case like his, the third person
Yeah.
plural, third person masculine singular in the genitive. So the part before must be. Oh, you said para lepseos was receiving. So then
Hmm.
the pare labin must be from the same verb. That looks very similar.
Yeah.
But I need a bit of help here. What exactly the gen pare labin is?
So there is something which he took over, right?
Mhm.
This is an
Oh,
aorist, right?
so which you received
So
basically?
which he received exactly. So what does Han? What is the antecedent of Han then?
There must be the kingship somewhere. Basileas, I guess.
I think so too.
What case is Basileas in?
Genitive singular.
That's what I thought. But the gen
Uh,
is accusative, isn't it?
yeah, because that works in the relative clause as an accusative.
Hmm.
So
yes, of course. The one which, accusative, paradela ben, he received from the hand of his father. Now it makes sense. Got it.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think you said off the god. Yeah, but that's probably just an opposition to Ptolemaiou, which was in the genitive.
Right.
Yeah, so it's just in a way just this appositions. So as we had all these genitive earliers that are not really, but I mean, this here it is a genitive because Tas Ptolemaiou is a proper one. But yeah,
Right. Makes sense.
anyway, you get it.
So
Okay,
it's
thanks.
pretty much verbatim what we have in the two Egyptian versions, not surprisingly. No additions, no
Yeah,
subtractions.
exactly. Nice. And then we have a short phrase now of demotic. Do I have someone wants to read?
I can give that one a try.
Yep.
I think the first two are e or eu. I think the third one is ir, like ire.
Yeah, and when they come all three together.
I forgot. It's not ire.
It's a participle. It's the past participle. So ir, usually written like this.
Ir. Okay.
Yeah.
And don't know.
No, so these are T's basically, the ones below, and these are W's, but you invert them, so it's tutu, like the dancing skirt. Yeah. I think in Coptic, you know your Coptic, so you can maybe figure it out. Is it Tote? Maybe.
The one that means the one that means like statue.
Maybe I'm wrong. Someone save me here. I wrote it down somewhere. It means to collect or to gather together or something like this. Let me see. Let me see what it says. If I say to collect, to assemble, I probably tote.
Oh, I don't think I knew that one.
Okay. Be gathered, be collected, assemble. Okay. Anyway, that's what that means.
And then, is that the determinative for the tutu?
Yeah, so what determinative is that? Would that be probably the A2? Am I mistaken there?
Hand to mouth man, yeah.
Yeah, hand to mouth man, exactly. Yeah. Hand to mouth. I like that. It sounds like the disease that happens to animals. No, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Next.
Next one, I feel like it could be the name of a god, but if it's not, it's probably the name of some sort of occupation, like a scribe or a priest or something.
So you have an N here, right? Just this one, the small one. So there is a collection in, and then you have this. Do you remember this determinative?
It's the house one.
Exactly. So it's a building of some kind. And we have a netshed here, and then do this. You can't really guess it, I guess, but there's a honorific transposition as well. So it's something netshed.
That hoot netshed?
Yeah, it's a hoot netshed. Perfect. Wait, there's hoot netshed. Hoot netshed. Okay, and then where is? I think we separate here. Netshed. Okay.
I feel like I've seen this next one. I would guess, like, I feel like when somebody on the server shared their screenshots from Assassin's Creed Origins a few years ago, and like this was one of them. I feel like it's like water or something very basic.
Yeah, so maybe this is the water glyph. I'm trying to. So it's men. It's men anyway.
No.
Which I think we've seen a few times before. Yeah, right. So it has the men glyph on top, if you can see, and then it has the water line underneath, water ripple. So that's just the phonetic sort of meaning of this one here. Men. And then the next one we've also seen.
The next one, I feel like it could be either Ja, like the fire drill thing, or Nefer, or maybe it's
Yeah.
Nefer then.
Yeah, it's Nefer. I revealed myself, I think. Men, Nefer, because that means something.
Yeah, Memphis. Yeah.
Memphis, exactly. Perfect. And then if we have, and then I think we have probably the God determinative, and then maybe the Z1. I'm trying to. It's always difficult to see all of these how they work together. Men Nefer. Do we have something that? Yeah. So we have the G7, and then we have the Z1 and the little dot at the end, which is barely visible in our. Just as the little tail there, that's the neut, the toponym determinative.
So what's the thing in between, like the little Y thing?
This one?
Yeah.
It's usually this abstract thing, but that wouldn't make much sense here. Yeah, it is. It's the book scroll.
Oh.
Somehow. Okay.
Probably from Nefer, I'm assuming.
Probably from Nefer, right? Yeah, exactly. It's just for the goodness.
Mm.
Then the next one it looks almost the same as the very first one, the Ir.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then I feel like I've seen that one too, but I just don't remember. Like I want to say Ir, but I don't think it is. And
Yeah, I think I just have to say that this is Jed. I don't remember if we had it earlier, but I guess it's a very common sign, right? So you just have to sort of remember it. But it means it's just a verb to say, right? So apparently it's the Jed snake, and then underneath the hand. Yeah. And both then the ears are past participles, just for your translation.
so like having collected or something.
Yeah.
Having gathered the temple or the house of God or the temple of the God.
Probably
in having gathered. Oh, so like gathered is intransitive then. So having gathered in the temple of the God at Memphis.
Yeah, right. So maybe we imagine a N here or something like this. At Memphis, yep.
Having said.
Yeah, and so because I think the actual decree is coming now. So we have all this. We have the dating. We have the sort of prelude to the decree, which you had after the wet, and then we have sort of a colon now, and then we come into the actual decree in our next line. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and so next line now. Who wants to try the glyphs?
Try, but it's going to be ugly.
Okay, let's go.
Ob.
Yeah, right. So is this one? Yeah, exactly. And it's a sort of Ptolemaic writing for a verb eab, which I don't know
I
if
think I
you
know
know
what
that
that means.
one.
I don't know it.
It also means to assemble.
Oh, okay. So
That's just,
Eobsen.
I just want to make so that we see it. Search. Eob. Yeah, this one. To unite, be united. Okay. So you said Eobsen.
10. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or Sahej. NT.
NT.
Maybe Demedge.
I found it as Mechat, but I'm open for any discussion.
No, that was a shot in the dark. Tawi.
Okay. Tawi.
Isu.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about that. What this
Same.
is, to be honest. Okay, yeah. So, do we have any illuminating thoughts from the audience? Isu, but yeah, it says is here is right. I checked the hawk, right, and is I think can be some kind of particle. I don't know if I have it. Where? Yeah, there it is, right? Where is I before W? I'm still not alphabetizing properly this.
Yes, I's before W.
Here we go. Okay, thank you. Enclitic particle, after all, indeed, even in fact. I don't know. It doesn't look enclitic to me right there, but yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it is. That's all I have. All I got. We can look at it later.
Yeah. And then this is a K. I'm not sure which bird this is under it.
Yeah, and that's the Aleph bird.
Oh, Ka.
So Ka, exactly. It's Ka. So just look at, yeah, Kasen, and just put them together. And that's, do you know what that means?
What if it were written differently? I would think like their cause, their, spirit.
Yeah, right.
But I don't think
exactly.
that's how you would write this. You wouldn't write it like this.
No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't write it like this.
But right, but the Ptolemies might, right? It's not not. But we have ka as a verb to say. I don't know how common it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those. I think Alan calls them the parenthetics. Those little things that can either end up in verb forms or can come at the end of a quotation or something. I think that's one of those. E is probably more familiar. I'll try to look it up.
Let's have a conversation in the chat, or if someone figures something out while we are translating, go ahead.
Right.
Okay, so assemble. It's assemble them or they assemble? What's the verb form here?
They assembled. They assemble, right? I mean, I'm really, really lousy at Mid Egyptian, so I don't know if this has a relative form or something. How do you make this work? Because the point is that it's a past tense, right? We have the past participle for the Demotic, and we have a past participle for the Greek as well. We're going to see it. So there's a past setting anyway.
So they who are assembled?
Yeah. I don't know. This is something I need help with. How to figure out the grammar of this. Let me just write it anyway. So it's Yab Sen, right?
I mean,
but what did we have?
I mean, it's not just a simple past Sejm F, right?
not in Middle. But the question is, how good Middle
Oh, right, of
Egyptian is
course.
this?
Right,
And this is Neo-Middle Egyptian. So in late Egyptian, it could just be they have assembled. It could just be a
right.
past tense because that's a thing.
Yeah.
In Demotic of the time, the past ZMF I think still lives, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's
Yeah.
still around. Yeah, it's still around in Demotic. So in the everyday speech, that could have made sense. In good classical Middle Egyptian, this would not be a past tense. It would be like concomitant action. As they're being assembled, as they are assembling. I don't think you can make it into a participle because a participle would not have the sen at the end. A relative would have the sen at the end if you are, I don't know, like gathering somebody or something. But I'm not sure if iap can be used transitively. I thought it would be intransitive, in which case that would make me think it's a ZMF. I'm just indicating that this action is going on in parallel to what other action we have. But all this with qualifiers. I'm not sure about that. It's just my best guess.
Hmm.
Okay, so table that for the moment. To right, no, but it's got a per. I mean, it's got a house determinative. Is this a
Hmm.
place?
Yeah, it's a temple or a sanctuary. It's a word. The illuminated place. So this is a causative with
Okay.
brightness, right? So I'm not really sure how it works.
Okay, so
but
so to whatever this temple, which is Mahat, I don't know.
yeah, that's the weight, the balance
Oh,
of two
okay.
lands.
The balance of the two lands. Isu. Carlsen.
Yeah. And so would this be just as well another ZMF like circumstantial they say? And yeah. Anyway, and Mechat Tawi is Memphis again. So because Memphis is sort of right in between Upper and Lower Egypt, so it's the balance.
Okay. So the temple that is in Memphis. Okay.
Yeah, right. So there's probably a missing kind of preposition or something.
Yeah.
Or which is.
Well, which is Neti, yeah. It's just the
Which is Memphis. Okay.
the relative adjective.
Hmm.
And the Sue here, is this a third masculine singular pronoun?
Yeah.
Let me see one thing as well. Well, it could be a particle. I mean, Su is also can be a particle, right? You would expect a little T there. Or it could be Isu. Isu, if it was spelled differently, just read leaf SW could be an equivalent of muk. Behold, look.
Isu together?
Isu together. But
okay.
then it's normally not written with a su, I think. With a biliteral, you know. I'm trying to draw it in the air, so if anybody could make out what I'm trying to say there, sorry. But
no,
yeah.
I get it.
I mean, we can cheat a little bit and see what they make out of it on the TLA, because I think they have this line.
Okay, they have it. That's great. Now I lost the entire. I have it somewhere back in my. Ah, here we go. Why is it so slow? Okay, so where? So we have the M and. Have we seen this? No, not yet. Isu. Here we have an Isu.
Yeah. And then
Sie sprachen.
They said. So if you just click on that, great. It doesn't.
This is our text, isn't it?
He's just saying this has been filled in like this already by Seder. You see that in the comments already. Reconstructed like this by Seder in Urkunden 2. That's the publication. I'm not sure if he takes that from the other attestation of the text, but he seems to break it out into two particles. So not isu, but just is-su.
And is the particle at the beginning of the sentence. Okay.
Non-enclitic particle. But it says that's for questions.
And then suit is the enclitic particle.
Yeah. I think we'd have to dig a little bit more, I guess, for the precise meanings of those two. Do you have Alan open by any chance? Alan's third edition?
I have it somewhere in my. I have the fourth edition somewhere.
You have the fourth edition?
Isn't the fourth? Oh no, okay, it's the third one. The fourth doesn't exist.
I was wondering, like, if you have it, could you send it to Alan so he could finally release
No,
it?
no. This is the one. I'm sorry.
No worries at all. Go to chapter 19. 19, and then at the very end, just before the essay.
At the very end, I probably should have started at 20 and gone back up. But
Good point. So 19.
Here it says parenthetics. Is this the part?
Exactly.
No.
That's the parenthetics. That's it. And then, yep, you were there. A little bit further down. Next page. There you go. There are your three parenthetics. In, ger, and ka. And they all. So in, I've seen a lot. Like he says, basically. A little bit like quoth in English or eid in Latin, these little words that you only use to introduce or to close out quotations. And then there's also ger and there's also ka. And here we're dealing with the ka. I'm not sure. He probably says something about how to use ka. I think it's at the bottom, actually. If you scroll a little bit further, there you go.
Huh?
Interesting that these examples are both future. Okay. But so yeah, it's a thing.
It's a thing. Great. So cool. All we're missing is the issue, and then we can reflect a bit maybe on the forms here. But
I thought maybe it's like David said in chat, like east from Coptic. I'm not sure if it is though.
east.
Like I have one etymology for from Westendorf, and then the other one on the Coptic dictionary online. It gives a TLA link, but it doesn't look like the east there is the same. It looks like it has an Ein S. Or no, there's also a JS.
Yeah, it was just sort of the first thing that sort of came to my mind. I was looking, I was a little curious, a little curious if it did actually come from that particular article.
And I mean, if it's that, it says siehe here, so siehe is behold. So again, it goes back to that idea that it could be something like muk. Behold, they say, colon. Maybe that's what that is.
Like that.
Okay. Great. Let's think about that.
Just real quick, there's no equivalent of that part in the Demotic. It's just says Memphis, then saying or having said.
And they said, or they having said, basically. So there's no sort of solemn way in the way. It seems to me like the Egyptian has this kind of a special expression here.
Right.
I mean, it is a meaningful part to have a meaningful expression for what they're going to say, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Who wants to read some Greek?
I could say it for you if you'd like.
Yeah, sure.
Elna or Evna?
This is Sigma, the first one.
Oh, Suzy. Suna. Sunkoin.
Sunak. This is a theta.
Oh. Ktoin.
Right. So you have, yeah, exactly. So you have kta, and then you have an epsilon again, and it's all. I can just show you the word divisions.
Okay.
So right, so sunactentis is basically it's a participle form, a passive participle.
Okay. Is it in toy?
Yeah, right. So yeah, n toy, and this is written like this in the sort of normalized way.
And toy and mempe.
Yeah, and there's a mistake here, so I'm just going to quickly. The scribe made the mistake in this. This is not an eta. There's a iota here, like this, and there's another iota here, and the word division goes there.
Okay. Mempe.
Yeah. So
mempe.
Memfe, exactly.
Yeah, Yeroi.
Hiroi. And so this goes here. Hiroi. Perfect.
Yeroi. Te emera. Mera.
Yeah. Te me erai.
Tau. Tau te.
Yep.
Apan.
Apan. Okay. Thanks. Does anybody want to translate it? Try and translate it.
What is synactentis?
So
it's something
it comes from the yeah. It comes from the verb sun a go. Maybe that helps.
Okay, so that's assembled again,
Mm.
right? So
Yeah.
being assembled, it's some kind of present participle in the plural. So the ones being assembled.
It's an aorist passive participle.
Oops, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's a bit of a strange one.
Those things that don't exist in Latin always trip me up. Okay, so so then them having been assembled, I guess, or they having been assembled. Then comes n. So where in toy, article in the dative singular masculine. En Mempe in Memphis. So that's like in parenthesis in between. Ieroi, that must be the temple then. So in the temple in Memphis is how we would do it in English, but they say in Memphis temple. Okay. Te Gemera. Oh, yeah. There's a iota subscriptum. That must be some kind of time word. So Gemera is day. Taute, I guess the same day or this day. This day.
This day.
So on this very day, te gemera taute eipan. That comes from the verb to speak. So they said. So in other words, having assembled in the temple in Memphis on this day, they say or they speak or spoke.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
They spoke. Great. And this te hemerataute we had in the Egyptian, but at the very beginning, right after we had wet in the demotic, and then we had en heru ipen.
Right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So this has been sort of stacked about a bit. Yeah. And then so supposedly, presumably here starts the decree proper, because we had they said. What time is it? Okay, we have maybe time to get a bit through the demotic line. There are a few easy things here with just names and uniliterals. I think the only difficult part is the beginning, basically. Anyone wants to try? So this is a bit strange. We had something similar not long ago. We had the engeret, but it meant from the hand of, from. the equivalent of what is it, entot, or enten entot in Coptic. But here it's used for a temporalis, introducing a sort of temporal clause. So
Right.
you can just, anyone wants to take over, go ahead.
Now, just a comment,
Engeret.
maybe. I mean, there is entere in Coptic, which comes from an older
Yeah.
Late Egyptian form, engere. And I'm wondering if that's maybe the same thing. It's just being spelled with the hand glyph here. But pronunciation-wise, that looks a lot to me like what entere would look like, which means after. It's the verb form we use that after or because something has happened, and that would fit perfectly here. Entere
It
shope.
does.
Mhm.
I tried to look it up, and because I agree, and I thought it was that, and then I'm not. It seemed to me to be something else. So this is Cherny. It's a bit later. Entere. There we go. Entere.
Yep,
Which
that's it.
he has. It's the same.
That's the one that I was thinking of. Yes, MJed. It's just it's spelled
Okay.
with a little jet thingy, with that
This
basket.
one.
Yeah, or whatever that is. But I'm wondering if they're spelling by sound here, potentially.
Yeah, right. Because here the glyph is the hand glyph. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, but let's just think that's what it is, maybe. Yeah. So we have this entere, engeret, and then we have
Schope, I guess.
schope, right?
Yeah, Gepper.
Schope, gepper, F, right?
Right.
Gepper F.
And then a miracle occurs.
Yeah, right.
What is this? Wait, I looked it up. I can find it. Oh, that is Ger.
Ger.
I would never have guessed, but it's Ger.
But we have the little sort of circumstantial or something particle down here, right?
Right.
So either R or EU.
Mhm.
Ger, exactly.
And is that, I mean, the next word is Pharaoh, but there's something in between.
Yeah,
Normally,
there's a verb.
I would say ir. So, ger ir bara, bara, I should say. And then comes Ptolemies, or Ptolemaios, Anjed, Panecheper,
Jet, Pa,
Netcher,
Netcher,
Per,
Netcher,
and then must be the beauty part again. So, Enti Naan, Paif, no, Taif,
How is it? Na. No,
Na.
this is like this.
No,
Na.
no.
An.
Oh, yeah, Naan, that's right.
Yeah.
Naan, Taif, or Tef,
Yeah.
Met, Nafr.
Right. So I have written it sometimes like this. I don't know why, but at least we have a T at the end of the Neferet. But this one.
That makes sense.
Okay.
And this is what? This is what? Is that per A again?
Yeah, it's again.
So then there's a son of missing. So Pharaoh
Yeah.
so and so, or Ptolemy 5, the son of Pharaoh, and then must be the name of his predecessor, which of course is also Ptolemy's.
Flu me as. Yep.
Okay, so far so good. where is our... Okay. No, hang on. Let's see if we can make sense out of this. So because... obviously, we're still missing quite a bit of information. Something basically happened because something happened or because something was. But I'm not sure what to make out of her ear per a yet. Her could be the aorist, because Pharaoh Ptolemy used to do or usually did or usually does. So that's the Shah, exactly, the Shah in Share in Coptic. That would actually be exactly it. Share pero.
Okay.
So I think Entere Shope maybe is Entere Shopef. That doesn't exist in Coptic, obviously, but I'm just making it up, pseudo-Coptic. Maybe it's just like an introduction because
Yeah.
it happened or something. Because it
I think so
happened.
too.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, I think so too, because it happened that something like that.
Yeah, that Pharaoh so-and-so, son of so-and-so, usually does, and then whatever comes after.
Exactly.
I guess we'll find out in the next episode.
Yeah, and it's kind of important to keep in mind the verb, because we will not see what he actually does until a while, because you know how it is with all the subjects and the epithets and all that stuff, and we will see the parents and the grandparents and all that. So just sort of remember that when we come to the end of that, we must like remind each other that we had the verb at the beginning. Yeah,
it's a bit of a Johann from Gambelputty situation, right?
What's that?
It's a bit of a Johann from Gambelputty situation. The
I don't know what
Monty Python
that is.
sketch. Oh, I'll post it later. It's
Okay.
it's a sketch where basically somebody's trying to interview the last offspring of a long name of a long line of royals, and his whole name is about a page long. So every sentence you
Yeah.
have to go through the whole title and then all the ancestors, and it doesn't get very far. I'll post it later. I thought it was
That's exactly
common
what it
knowledge.
is. Nice. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks. Oh, in the Greek, it's nice that we had here the verb all the way at the end. Even if we had a long sentence with a lot of subjects and subclauses, I think I like it. I prefer it when the verb comes at the very last, rather than having the verb all the way at the beginning. But yeah. Any question, comment, feedback, anything from anyone? Otherwise, yes, thanks all, and see you in a week.
Thank you. See you next week.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ciao.